We got a nice little piece of gold already. So we're gonna make this happen. I've got the Drop Riffle Sluice here, a little one, nice and convenient to pack around. I've got my little tub here, feeding dish, but hey, it works great for classifying bulk materials. A little bucket to handle little materials, scooper, and that's the spot I worked right over there. I'm gonna set the sluice up right here. I already selected a rock to set it up. Let's get that set up. There aren't too many places to really set up the sluice effectively here, so right here is a pretty decent spot. I like drop riffle sluices because if you drop a big rock in there, it's not going to mess up your flow. It's going to roll over the drop riffles. The gold here is kind of small, but can be abundant if you find the right spot. So let's get after it. So I took my sample underneath this big rock. Out here is a huge boulder patch, and everything is pretty hard to deal with. If you got some strength and some tools, you can bump some of these rocks here, but some of these rocks are really big all along this route. But right here I found a little pool of water, which gives me water for classifying, and I'm able to get in here and start getting some of this material done. I've been digging down. There's plenty of rocks to backfill the hole when I'm done. So let's get to some prospecting. So I brought with me a 1-inch classifier. This removes the bigger rocks, makes it simpler for classifying the smaller ones so that you don't get clogged up on the big rocks. Out here the gold is fairly small. Nuggets and big chunks are not very common, so 1/4 inch is totally suitable. Some places I would do a 1/2 inch. So one goes on top of the other. I remove the big rocks, rinse them clean, pluck them out, work that way. And now that I got some classifying water to use, let's go. Just like that, the big plus 1-inch rocks are out of the way. I thought I wasn't recording. Always scan your classifieds. You never know what you might see. Got a nice packed one out of the way. Should be some good stuff where that came out of. If the surface stuff was like that for that first sample pan, we work a volume, we should be getting something. Freed up a lot of material for classifying. I see my first mosquito. They found me. Cool mineralized rock, but I don't see any gold on it. We're gonna get a good amount of material here. Not fill it to the fullest because I still have to wander over the boulders to get it worked, but get a good amount. Nothing big. So I've got a pretty good sample here. Pretty good volume. Probably about equivalent to a 5-gallon bucket. Let's go feed the sluice. Alright, I have the classified materials here. We're going to feed it into the sluice. Sluicing is a great option for when you want to work more volume, but you want to keep it down low-key, scale, quick, easy setup. It's not as difficult as setting up all the motors, pumps, and stuff. Yes, you can get more production out of it, but sometimes you just want to take in the scenery. I forgot to tighten my wing nuts up. Might be handy. With smaller sluices, you have to feed them carefully and watch for the dancing action behind them. I've never used this sluice before, so it's a learning curve for me to see the feed rate. But it's pretty common sense. So I was at the Gold Show in Monroe, Washington, put on by WPMA, which is a great show in Washington. If you go to gold shows, that's one of my favorites. It's nice for me because coming from Alaska, Seattle's the first major hub in the lower 48 where I could fly to. And the people there are Gold Rush whitewater fans, so they recognize me. I think I got a piece of trash in there. That's okay though. Check out the sluice up close. So it's difficult with this water to get it even. But I already see a piece of gold sitting right there. So the flow is a little heavy on that one side, but it seems to be doing its job pretty well. That's cool. That's cool to see a piece of gold in there already. It is in the third drop riffle back, so that's a good sign. It's probably because I'm dumping in clumps that it's able to skip a few. If I fed it a little slower, it probably wouldn't make it that far. So at times there may be gaps in my videos. Sometimes during work projects I end up working 84 hours a week. And what gives me the mental peace of mind from all that craziness of work is this. Seeing my family and then coming out here to prospect. Now if it were a little warmer, my wife would probably be out here with me. But she's cozy in the car reading her Kindle while I have my fun. And we drive around and explore and see what areas are finally opening up in Alaska. We still have snow on the banks over here. But from the last video I did when I was up here looking for flood gold that ended up sending me downstream lower, it's drastically improved. What I'm looking for as I feed the sluice, I'm looking for a little bit of a dance action, a little bit of a roll. This style of drop riffle doesn't have angles, it has a straight drop. So the edges are 90 degrees where the tips are. And so the first one's going to create a little bit of a back eddy. And it's going to hit that other wall and stir up the material. When I'm looking for gold, I prefer the color blue. Now, some people prefer green. Now, black is obviously the best. But the issue for gold miners using black pans is that our black sands are harder to find the line on. You can see the glittery line. But when you have a blue or green pan, you're able to see the black sands, you're able to see the contrast of gold. The reason I like blue more is because green, how do you make green? Blue and yellow. What color is gold? If it's real gold, it's yellow. So you got that little bit of a less contrast versus blue. I can see smaller bits of gold better in blue than I can green personally. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you prefer green, blue, black, or any other color? Now I've seen a pink pan before. We're getting to the bottom of the classifieds. Classifieds are almost empty. I'm gonna give them a little rinse to the bottom corner. That's all that's left. All done. So I'm going to let this sluice run down the materials till I see less coming out. Once I see no more dancing out of the end, I'll know that it's worked all the lightweights out. And we'll pan this out and see what we get. Normally, I just save my concentrates for the winter because I have all winter to work when this place is just buried in snow. But we're gonna see what it is today. And then I have another tool my son bought me called the Golden Sands. And given that hole, if I need to go deeper into that hole, I'm gonna run out of shovel space and I'm gonna need to start using some sort of pump device to get that gold. So I may return and do that. I see no more material coming out. So I gently lift it. Look at this. No cuts, no edits. At least not at this point. There's a lot of dead time. Right there, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 obvious pieces of gold. 5. There's the camera, here's the camera. Hold the sluice straight up, and I see the gold. There's another one over here. So it's there. The gold is in here. I'm looking at the end of it, trying to read how far down, so I'm able to, maybe it's my fault for running it too fast or something, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about halfway down the sluice, I saw that little piece right here. So I'm gonna say I fed it too fast and the piles flooded it. But I don't see gold down on this end here. I've got barren riffles down here, no gold visible in them. This thing did its job pretty well. Yep, there. That one piece is stubborn, it doesn't want to go. I've got one piece stuck in the very first riffle on the corner. Always check your sluices and make sure you're getting them clean. If they're mats or carpets or whatever other mean things you use, clean them off well. That's clean. Now we're going to take this concentrate, which it's not very much concentrate in reality. Probably 1 scoopful. So this is going to be pretty good. I'm going to pan it back into this tub, which is one of the reasons I like classifying into this, using this in my setup. It's wide open, gives me a safe area to do a safety pan. Since I know this stuff has gold, I've seen it in the sluice. You've seen it from that clip too while I took it. let's get this into the other pan and get it out. So I got that one piece I showed you earlier in this pan from the sample that I took. There's a couple tiny little ones in there, but those would take a crazy zoom. I'm gonna take this concentrate. Always have the snuffer bottle ready. I got that all solidly cleaned out. I'm gonna get a little bit of water. I should have grabbed my bucket too, but that's all right. I'm using the Garrett Super Sluice Gold pan, which has the very large riffles, and it'll leave me a fair bit of material in here, but the deep riffles give an added safety factor when you're panning. Plus I like this wide bottom on here. Do that. Now I wish they made the Garrett Super Sluice in blue. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Oh yeah. So I got this camera on a tripod and I tried to zoom in on gold before and it doesn't do very well. Sometimes you gotta do the handy phone. So look at this, straight up. We have some wiry looking pieces. Well, there's a number of good little flakes in there. Let's see if I can get it on here. See that one right there's a nice big one. And this black sand, there's some, oh, right here. Definitely some good flakes. So for one sample pan, one classified bucket, how long would it take me to get, let's say, a lot of gold? I don't know. Before a quick trip near home, I can't complain. This is good gold. So if you like seeing this prospecting raw and what I'm doing, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and help me out here. I've got some dreams to try and get this channel bigger so I can teach more people, do more hangouts, and just have fun. Eventually I want to get a camper van and I want to travel the country doing the van life while prospecting in many areas. So any support, comment, subscription, that'd be awesome. So until next time, may your pans be golden and you have a good morning, day, or night, whatever it is, wherever you are.